Mike Radich here, and I'm now joined on the phone by Bellator Lightweight Brent Primus. Brent, how are you?
I'm good. Just got done training. I'm doing good.
Brent, the name of the game is really random. That's where I ask you a random question and you give me the real answer. Some of these questions are custom made just for you, and some of these questions are generic ones that I ask all the people I interview. So, here's the first question. Superpower you'd love to have?
Yeah, I have superpower. I don't know what you're talking about, but I have that. That's what I am. I have a lot of power behind my hands and behind everything, my ground game and everything. So yeah, definitely.
Favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Dang, that's super tough. Apocalypto is awesome. Tombstone, yeah, it's hard to man. I'm gonna go with Apocalypto. I think that movie's awesome.
Favorite color?
Blue.
Favorite guilty pleasure?
Eating sweets, ice cream, donuts, cookies. I love it all.
Brent, you have a fight coming up June 24th at Bellator 180. How's training been going for the fight?
It's been going great, man. It's a whole new different camp. I've never had a camp like this. I'm up in California right now training with Team Oyama, and Coach Oyama he's awesome, man. I've never had a training like this. I'm just drilling hard every single day, hours nonstop a day. It's great. I'm learning so much, and I'm also going back to Oregon. Once I'm here at 3 weeks, and I go back to Oregon for a week, and shove up my jiu-jitsu. But training camp has been going beautifully, man. I don't remember the last time I went into a camp or went into a fight not injured. I have something injured, and I'm 100%. I don't have any dings or nicks or anything. I feel great right now.
Why did you decide to do part of your training camp at Team Oyama? Obviously, in the past, you've trained at other gyms. You went to Donald Cerrone's ranch. You trained there. You trained at Jackson's. Up in Oregon, at one point in time, you were at Sports Labs. They closed down. Then you were at Rose City FC. They closed down. So now you're up at Gracie Baja with Fabiano Scherner and Chael Sonnen and all those guys. So you have a good thing going up in Oregon, but why did you decide to do a portion of your camp in California?
I just changed it up a little bit. I just wanted to, see what was going on in other places, and at Fabiano Scherner's, the jiu-jitsu is great. I couldn't ask for better jiu-jitsu. Fabiano's an awesome jiu-jitsu coach, and, training Chael Sonnen and a bunch of those guys is great. But I just wanted something else for my stand-up, and Team Oyama, Coach Oyama is that. He's got an awesome game plan for me on my stand-up, and, my stand-up right now is feeling better than it ever has. My hands are fast. I got a good game plan with Colin Oyama, so, that's pretty much why I went up here. But the training's excellent, I'm feeling great right now.
Who's helping you get ready for the fight? Who are some of your training partners at Team Oyama?
There's a bunch of guys all the guys in the UFC, I probably should know their last names, but I really don't. I'm training with, like, Chito and Diego and Ricardo and a bunch of guys, that are in the UFC that I don't know their last names, but man, everybody's super good and great, and I'm just learning so much and just soaking up like a sponge up here, and it's great. And Colin, like I said, Colin Oyama is such a technician. He's got an awesome game plan and just breaking me down detail by detail and picking me apart, and he's amazing, man. I'm really stoked with my training right now.
Who's going to be cornering you for the fight?
I'm going to have Colin Oyama and Fabiano Scherner, and those guys are going to be my main cornermen, and I'm going to have a couple other guys from Oregon that I've been training with a long time, Ben Baxter and Nate Shetterfield.
This fight on June 24th between you and Michael Chandler, not a lot of people saw this one coming. A lot of people thought that you were maybe one or two fights away from a title shot, not getting a title shot right now, because you didn't have to go through a number one contender fight. You've been out for a little while. You had some fights fall through. You're supposed to fight against Piccolotti, but he had some issues and he had to pull out of his fight. Then you had another fight that was supposed to take place that didn't happen. So you've been out for a little while, and a lot of people were surprised when Bellator offered you a title shot. So were you surprised that Bellator gave you a title shot even though you didn't have to go through a, quote, number one contender fight to get a shot at the belt?
Yeah, a little surprised. They promised me a top five, one of the top five guys for my next fight. But like I said, Adam Piccolotti got injured. Then I had another guy get injured who was a top five guy. And, that's just how it works. And, it's a blessing in disguise. I was ready to fight whoever they wanted me to fight, but I had no idea it was going to be Chandler, and when I got the call, you can't say no to that, so here I am fighting for the lightweight world title.
When this fight was announced, a lot of people were like, this is a really random fight because, Michael Chandler has been the champion for a while now, and a lot of people thought that he was going to fight against someone like Josh Thompson, but then he got knocked out in his last fight. All the fights that a lot of people thought were going to be made for his title defenses have either already happened or because of certain things, the fight couldn't be made because Patricky Pitbull just knocked out Josh Thompson. So that was the fight that, a lot of people thought if Bellator was going to do a pay-per-view, it would probably be Thompson versus Chandler. But now that fight can't happen because Thompson lost his last fight. And a lot of people are like, this is kind of a weird matchup because not a lot of people know about you. As of today, a lot of people were surprised, who's this Brent Primus guy? But then, I kind of, let the public fool me. I'm like, yeah, this is kind of a random fight. But then when I started thinking about it, Josh Thompson, he just got knocked out. Ben Henderson, he just fought Chandler. David Rickles, he's fought against Chandler and lost. So that fight doesn't make sense. Patricky Pitbull is 0-2 against Chandler, and in his last fight against Chandler, he was brutally knocked out. Then Brandon Gertz, he's not doing good right now. He's on a losing streak. Melvin Gillard, he's on a losing streak. The only guys who make sense right now for Chandler to fight are you and Derek Campos, but Derek Campos has already lost to Chandler, so that fight doesn't make sense. And then Adam Piccolotti, he can't pull out of a fight against you because of an injury and then come back immediately and fight for the title, so he kind of disqualified himself there. So this is really the only fight that makes sense right now in Bellator. So were you expecting people to be surprised by you getting this title shot?
Yeah, I think I'm a little bit surprised, but like you said, you just pretty much just called it how it is. They were really wanting to match Thompson up with Chandler, but Thompson got knocked out, and like you said, all the other guys, it's just how it happens. And I think this is a good matchup, and I'm really going to shock a lot of people. People don't really know me, but this is going to be a big step for me, and I'm going to show everybody, why I'm fighting for the belt. And so like I said, everything happens for a reason. It's a blessing in disguise, and I think that I am the right matchup for Chandler, and it's going to be an awesome, good fight.
Usually, leading up to all your fights, you're always the favorite. Everyone's always telling you, you're just going to go in there, you're going to smash this guy. The betting odds, they're always in your favor. Now, it's a little bit different because you're opening up as a massive underdog in this fight, and a lot of people view this fight as just a squash match for Michael Chandler, just a showcase for him. A lot of people are counting you out. A lot of people are already saying, I've seen some interviews with Scott Coker, and people are already asking him, well, since Brent Primus is fighting Michael Chandler, I think that means that you guys got to go out and sign some more lightweights. What are you planning to do with Michael Chandler after this fight? Just completely forgetting that June 24th and this fight hasn't happened yet. A lot of people are counting you out. And in all your fights leading up to this point, you've been the favorite. So has that been a welcome change now with you being the underdog? Because now you're in a situation where you have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Exactly. I think this is perfect for me. Like you said, ever since I started doing jiu-jitsu and started competing in nationals and all these big tournaments and little tournaments and fighting MMA and amateur and fighting pro, all I've heard is, you're going to do great. You're going to whoop his butt. This guy doesn't stand a chance. And I hate that. I just totally ignore everybody that says that, and it's a fight. Anything can happen, and I like being the underdog. I hope that everybody counts me out. I hope Chandler counts me out and underestimates me because I'm not the person to underestimate. I'm going to go out there and shock everybody and show them why I belong here. And so I love this. I love being the underdog. It's a great feeling, and it's a first for me, but I love it. It drives me. It makes me train harder. It makes me do extra rounds. It makes me do more push-ups, pull-ups. It run faster. So I'm excited, and like I said, I love being the underdog, and I can't wait to go out there and shock the world. I'm in Chandler's shoes exactly when he fought for the belt, when he fought Eddie Alvarez, and it's gonna be a great fight, man. Like I said, man, I hope everybody underestimates me, and this is gonna be a time for me to make my name for myself, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do on June 24th. I'm gonna go out there and shine. This is my time right now. All that hard work, all these years of training, all these years of doing. Competing, and this is all matters right now. June 24th. This is my time. So, I can't wait to go out there, and I really think I'm going to shock everybody and walk out of that cage with that belt.
This is a huge fight for you because you're fighting for the world title, and you're fighting against Michael Chandler, who's one of the faces of Bellator right now, and the stage that you're on is a massive stage. You're fighting at Madison Square Garden. That's a very historic venue. All the greats, Muhammad Ali, all these great boxers are fighting there now that MMA is legal. All these great MMA fighters are going to be fighting there. You know, you have Chael Sonnen and Vanderlei Silva headlining this event. You have Fedor in the co-main event. You have 2 world title fights. Bellator's really going all out for this event. They're trying to make this the biggest Bellator show ever. So, from your side of the table, what's bigger? Is the fight bigger or the stage that you're going to be fighting on bigger?
For me, the fight. You know, I'm fighting Chandler. I'm fighting for the world title. You know, this is it. You know, this is everything that I could ask for. Most people train their whole lives and don't get this opportunity. You know, and I got it. You know, so the fight for sure. But you know, like you say, I'm fighting at Madison Square Garden where Muhammad Ali's fought and all these legends have fought, and I'm fighting on the same card as legends that I looked up to since I started training. And you know, so the whole thing, the whole picture is just humongous. And you know, I'm literally just gonna go out there and soak it all in and enjoy it and fight my heart out. And you know, this is a blessing. I mean, this is a blessing. I couldn't you know, a year from now I couldn't even imagine this. You know, so you know, I'm so excited, and this is a dream come true in every situation. So you know, I can't wait.
What are your thoughts about Michael Chandler as an opponent?
He's a beast. You know, he's a champion for a reason. He's a champion in and outside the cage, and you know, I'm excited to fight him. And it's great to be fighting. I really think he's the best lightweight out there right now. I think he would smash Connor and those guys. You know, so it's an honor to fight the number 1 guy, and I'm really excited. And this is going to be a true test for me, and you know, I can't wait. Chandler's a beast, and so am I. So it's going to be an awesome war.
2-part question. First part. Before they offered Michael Chandler this fight, how much do you think he knew about you? And second part of the question is, 7 fights into your pro career, if he goes back and watches your fights, how much will he see from your fights? How much do you think you've shown in terms of your potential up to this point?
You know, I think that Chandler knows who I am. You know, I think he did before he got the call, especially me beating Derek Anderson and stuff. I think he knows who I am. But, you know, what was the second part again?
The second part is 7 fights into your career, how much do you think you've shown? You know, how much of your potential have you tapped into?
That's a good thing about me, you know. Like, I've only had, you know, 5 fights in Bellator, and a lot of, you know, I think 3 out of those 5 were really fast, you know, in the first round. And that's one thing that is on my side is I haven't shown any of my true potential out there, you know. Like, nobody's seen a lot of what I can do, and I think that's awesome for me. And, you know, one thing about Chandler is I've seen him go war and war and war after war, so it's great. You know, I'm going to go out there and show everybody really what I'm made of, and, man, I haven't shown, like, 10% of what I can do out there, so I think this is awesome for me, and it's good because Chandler doesn't know what I'm going to do, and he probably thinks I'm going to go in there and, you know, do what he's seen in that last fight or two, so, you know, I'm taking this. This is awesome for me. You know, nobody knows what I can do. So this is great.
What do you think his camp is telling him to do against you in this fight?
You know, I think he's going to go out there and try to just stand up and move and knock me out with his right hand like he did Pitbull. I really don't think he's going to try to take me down. And if he does, you know, that's awesome. But you know, I think that he's going to do what he has been doing. You know, he's a great wrestler with heavy hands, and he's fast, and I think he's just going to go out there and do what he has in those last few fights, you know, and I'm ready for that.
Obviously, without revealing your game plan or anything, do you see a clear path to beating Michael Chandler?
You know, every single time I go to bed, I fight this guy in my head over and over and over, just replay, imagining myself warming up. Hey, Brent, you got 10 minutes. Putting Vaseline on, walking the cage, fighting him, like, over and over. I've fought him 1,000 times in my head. And, you know, I've seen myself knocking him out, catching him as he's rushing in. I've seen myself, you know, going on the ground with him and submitting him on the ground. And, you know, I've also seen us having a 5-round bloody war. And I'm ready for any of those. And, you know, like, I would like a nice 5-round bloody war. I think that would be awesome, you know, but I think I think I can finish this guy on my feet, on the ground, you know, so, yeah, I don't want to say my game plan, but, yeah, you know, I think I can finish this guy for sure.
When you watch Michael Chandler's old fights, Are you focusing on his wins and what he does well? Are you focusing on his losses and what other guys have been successful doing against him? Are you looking at a mixture of both? When you watch him on film, what are you focusing on?
Yeah, I've watched his losses and his wins. I'm just trying to soak up everything he's done and everything he does good and everything he does bad. I'm going to capitalize on all of that. So, I've definitely watched him and Will Brooks, and I'm ready for this. I've really just been studying this guy, and he does a lot of things good, but there's a couple holes in his game too. That I'm really going to capitalize on.
Whether it's amateur or pro, how many title fights have you been in?
Only one as an amateur, and I won that. But it's a crazy thing. As an amateur and as a pro, more as a pro actually. As an amateur, I had so many people backing out of fights on me, and then I got my black belt when I turned pro, and it was so hard to get fights in Oregon. I had probably a dozen fights that fell through, and a lot of them fell through the last couple weeks of the fight. People just kept on backing out, and it was really, really hard. I literally almost thought about just giving up MMA and start doing just jiu-jitsu tournaments because, man, nobody wanted to fight me, and it was just getting old, and I was going through training camps, and just people were backing out over and over, and it was a hard thing to deal with, and thank God Bellator signed me only at 2-0, and now here I am fighting for the belt, so it's an awesome, cool thing for sure.
That seems to be a common theme in your career because here you are, you haven't fought in over a year. Your last two fights that you were scheduled to happen, both of your opponents backed out. How has that been on you financially? I know it's none of my business to be prying into your finances, but, that's part of the game. You fight, you get paid. You don't fight, you get nothing. And, you're a guy who this isn't normal for you. Usually you're used to having a steady income. You were in the landscaping business. Did you have to go, were you looking for a job? Did you go to your grandfather and ask him to be in the logging business? How were you able to support yourself with a year without fighting?
Man, it's hard. It really, really is. It's so hard going to these training camps. These training camps are so expensive, just eating and paying for my coaches and the gas driving up to Portland. And, man, it takes a toll on you for sure. And luckily I have students that I do private lessons with. And, last summer I went logging for my grandpa. And, I'm a hard worker. No matter what it is, I'll find a job and work and, doing sighting for my uncles or whatever it is, I always find some way to make money, and, I'm a hard worker, like I said, so, but at the same time, man, it's been so tough, it's hard on my wallet and my family when, I'm signing a contract and go through a 2-3 month camp and have somebody get injured or whatever and then don't get paid. It's heartbreaking, but, like I said, I got awesome support, I got awesome family that helped me out, and, my grandpa has a logging business, I work for him if I have to, and, it's just, day by day, living it up and, trying to pay the bills.
Patricky Pitbull isn't very happy with you right now. He says that you've backed out of fights with him, and he's been saying that you're running from him. A lot of nonsense, a lot of stuff that, well, I think I know what he's up to. I think he's trying to position himself. If you win this fight, your first defense of the title will be against him. You guys were supposed to fight in Italy a while back. For whatever the reason is, they ended up giving that fight to Derek Campos. I don't know what the story was, but I think that's what he's trying to do. I think he's trying to set up a fight between you and him, because a fight between him and Chandler doesn't really make sense. But if you win this title, a fight between you and him will make a lot of sense, and that's a way. I think that's what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what he's up to? Because the stuff that he's been saying, he can't possibly believe. Why would you turn down a title fight against Michael Chandler to fight him? It just doesn't make any sense. Why would you take, basically a step back from what Bellator was offering you? So what do you think he's up to?
Exactly. I really don't know what that guy's talking about. He's freaking crazy. But like you said, I was supposed to fight him in Italy, and I was training for that, and then I'm not sure what happened, but they just switched opponents and gave Derek Campos that fight, and that was a really crappy thing. I was really upset about that, but I was looking forward to fighting Pitbull. But at the same time, he's smart. He's, we're talking about Pitbull right now. We're saying his name. So he's smart, and I think that's why he's doing it, so he can set up a fight for me when I win the belt. But at the same time, why would I want to fight that guy when I have Chandler, on the contract? It just it made no sense. I'm definitely not running from that guy. I beat Derek Anderson, who beat that guy twice, and then, so If I beat Chandler, yeah, I'll go out there and freaking beat that guy up too, So that's no problem to me, but it just doesn't make sense for me to sign a contract to fight him when I have Chandler, in the talks and in the works. So I don't know what that guy's talking about, but at the same time, he's kind of smart because we're saying his name. We're talking about him right now in this interview. So, and, that's how it is. But like I say, I ain't going to backtrack and fight Pitbull when I have Chandler, in my headlights. So.
Hobbies outside of fighting.
Hobbies outside of fighting. Oh, man. I love to play sports, basketball, soccer. I have a boat. In the summertime, I'm out on the lake every day if I'm not training. And, just hang out with my dog. I have, my dog's my boy. He's my man. Go hiking with him, and I'm huge with my family. I got a big family in Oregon, and as much as I can hang out with my family, the better, So, but yeah, pretty much just if I could have it, I'd just relax in the sun on my boat all the time. That'd be kind of cool. But that's not how life is. I have to train, so no matter what, even if I don't have a fight, I'm training at least once a day. Usually I try to go train in the morning and then go and enjoy the sun as much as I can when it's not raining in Oregon.
Do you have any pre-fight rituals or superstitions?
Before I always fly out for my fights, I have a big dinner with my family, and I'm really close to my grandparents, and, go hang out with my grandparents and, talk to my family pastor, and then, I head out and go beat people up.
Do you have any post-fight rituals?
Eat as much sweets as I can without getting as fat as I, can, pretty much. But I'm a big foodie, man. I love to eat, and, this cutting weight to 155, it's hard, but it's all worth it at the end. And after it's all said and done, I love to go eat. We're going to be in New York City, which is awesome. There's so many great places to eat and everything. So, I'm going to go enjoy that and enjoy New York City. I'm going to stay there for probably a week after the fight, and, it's going to be great.
Besides fighting, what are you passionate about?
I mean, I know it's fighting, but jiu-jitsu is my life for sure. And, man, what am I passionate about? What a boring dude. Just like hanging out with my family, man. I love watching movies, and I love shooting guns. I got a bunch of guns. My brother's in the military, and he's got me hooked on some guns, so definitely go out to the range and shoot a bunch of guns. And yeah, man, just being outdoors, man. I love being outdoors and playing sports, basketball, and just being outside for sure. What
motivates you in life and in fighting?
I got kicked out of my house when I was like 13 years old by my stepdad. And, I remember him telling me that I'm a loser and I'm going to work at McDonald's my whole life. And, I'm a loser. I'm going to amount to nothing. And, that started it all right there. My stepdad burned a fire in me, and it turned into a raging fire. I remember 13, 14 years old, doing thousands of push-ups every day, thinking, man, I'm going to beat him up someday. Definitely that drove me to where I am right now, and it still does. I hear this voice in my head, you're a loser, and, that, thank God that he did it sounds kind of crazy, but, it drove me to do crazy things and work hard. I have a crazy work ethic, and, I feel like I work harder than anybody, but at the same time, I already think I proved him wrong. I'm in Bellator, I'm an undefeated fighter, and, I'm making money fighting, and, I think I've already proved him wrong, but this is going to be, it's going to be that point right there. If I win the belt, geez, man, that's amazing. And, when I win that belt, it's going to be awesome. Me and my stepdad, we have a good relationship now. He said he's sorry, and we've made amends, but at the same time, I'll never forget what he said to me, and I hear his voice all the time. And, yeah, for sure, winning the belt is going to be amazing. It's a lifetime opportunity, a lifetime accomplishment.
You and your wife are expecting your first child. It's going to be a boy. Do we have a due date yet? And also, do we have a name picked out?
Yeah, it's August 14th. I'm so excited we're having a boy. I cannot wait. It's going to be amazing. I've always wanted to be a father, and I never really had a father like that. And it's going to be awesome to have a father and have a kid that you can look up to and say my name proudly. I've never had that. I could never talk about my dad proudly, or when I was playing soccer with all my friends, they all had their dads there. They all had their dads helping, and I always just going to friends' houses, sitting the night over, and I just remember watching how their dad and them connected, how they talked, and it's going to be great. I cannot wait to be a dad. It's going to be awesome. And the name thing, man, we're still thinking about that. But I definitely want something that is unique that nobody else has, and something strong. I was just messing around, but telling my wife we should name it like Thor or Hercules or something like that, something cool. But she definitely put a kibosh to that. But we're definitely gonna, have a cool name or something unique for sure.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Favorite food?
Oh, favorite food. Besides donuts, ice cream, and cookies and all that stuff, like food-wise, I'd have to say Italian food. I love Italian food. I love carbs. So yeah, definitely Italian food, man. Like anything Italian, I'm down to eat plates of it.
Favorite band and or solo artist?
It's kind of hard to say. I'm gonna say I know it sounds all like gangsterish, but man, Tupac was the man back in the day. I grew up listening to Tupac, and I think not only was he a good artist, rapper, he was a poet, and I'm gonna say Tupac for sure. He's a man.
I hope you know that you just let down the entire internet because everyone was hoping that you'd say Primus.
I know, man. I keep on hearing that or whatever, but I guess they're cool. I really don't listen to them that much, but I guess with my last name, I gotta start getting on their their songs there.
Yeah, I never heard of them, but then I started seeing people saying that about you, so I'm like, all right, I'll check these guys out, but I'm not really a fan of them. Like, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't even know who they were, so.
Yeah, for sure. I maybe listened to, like, one of their songs, and that's about it. But really, my name is pronounced Primus.
Primus, yeah.
Everybody says Primus, and I just got used to that, so whatever it is. But, yeah, I guess they're cool, but literally I haven't really listened to much of their music.
Favorite TV show, and it can be a show currently on the air or a show no longer on the air, just overall favorite TV show.
All right. I'm going to say Shark Tank. I watch Shark Tank all the time. I think that show's awesome. I have a couple of inventions that I want to go on that show with, and I think I'd make some money. I'm not going to say what they are because we might take them, but I'm going to definitely have to say Shark Tank. And for some reason, I don't know why, but whenever I'm cutting weight and just eating salad and grilled chicken all day long, I always watch like the Food Network channel, watch Chopped, all those shows. So I kill myself doing that. But yeah, Chopped's pretty cool too, man. But definitely Shark Tank for sure.
Why don't you have a nickname?
I don't know. Obviously I don't want to make a nickname for myself, but a couple of people have called me Prime Time or Optimus Prime. Those have been rumors, or people have tried to get me those. I'm up here at Team Oyama, and man, I sweat like crazy, dude. I drink 2-3 gallons of water a day, and I sweat so much. And some of these guys are starting to call me the faucet, which I do not don't want to be called that. But I'll just wait until somebody nicknames me. I'm not going to do it myself, that's for sure.
If you could trade places with anyone in the world for a week, who would you trade places with, and why?
Dang, Tim, that's a good question. Man, that's a good question. I don't know. I think it'd be cool to just be super rich and just spend my money on whatever I want, do whatever I want. So, I'd be Bill Gates for a little while and just ball it out and just buy as much food and freaking travel the world. That'd be kind of cool. You know what? I think Mark Cuban, dude. That guy, I watched Shark Tank, and that guy has a life. He just goes to basketball games and just, that'd be pretty cool to do that, dude, too.
If you could stay one age forever, how old would you stay and why?
I'm going to say 28, just because I feel like I'm really young, but still, have a lot of experience in life, and I'm going to say 28. That's a good time for me, I feel. Even though, like, right now I feel young, man. Like, I'm 32, that's just crazy to even say, but, I feel good right now, but I'm going to say 28 because it's still the 20s. There's something about saying the 30s I don't really like, but I remember when I was young, my mom turned 30, and I was like, oh, my God, my mom is so old now. She's not going to be around much longer, it's just crazy, but I'm 32, but I feel young and feel fast. I feel great right now, but still, 28 years old, I'm going to say.
Celebrity people say you look like?
Good question. When I was younger, people said I looked like Nick Lachey, which I did not like. Dang singer in like 90 degrees or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Right.
yeah, I mean, I haven't really heard of that. It looked like anybody in any famous people really lately. But when I was in high school, people used to say I look like Nick Lachey, which is like, gosh, dang it, man. If you guys say somebody that's like a little bit more masculine or cool or something like that, but yeah, for sure.
Go-to song when you're singing in the shower.
Oh man, literally, like I can listen to any song and I'll be singing it. Like I don't know what's up with me, but I'm always singing, always humming, no matter what I'm doing, and I could freaking hear Backstreet Boys or Britney Spears in the background. I'll be humming it and singing it all day. Like I don't know what's up with me, but no matter what's playing, man, I'm like a record over here.
Some people are afraid of spiders. Some people are afraid of heights. Some people are afraid of the dark. What are you afraid of?
Oh, man, I'm afraid of spiders and the heights. Gosh, dang, I hate spiders. They're creepy little things, man. They can be anywhere. It's crazy. I was sleeping on the couch, like, a while ago with a blanket. My wife lifted up the blanket to, lay down with me, and there was this big spider, like, spooning me, just
Oh, God.
right by me. And she's like, I jumped up, and I looked down, and there was this humongous spider. And I was like, oh, what the hell? And man, I just do not like spiders. And this is kind of a crazy story. When I was younger, I was in this daycare, and I remember we were in this old house, like daycare, like a play thing for kids or whatever. And one of the playmates that were there, he stepped through this little hole, and he stepped down, and he started making this weird noise and started drooling everywhere. And I was like, what the heck? And he wasn't talking. He started drooling, and I was like, oh my God, something's wrong. So I ran and got the daycare lady, Cindy Hill, and we came out there, and there was a spider in his shoe, and when he stepped down, it bit him. And I think it was like a brown recluse or something like that. But
yeah.
Ever since then, I've had a crazy fear of spiders, and so I check my shoes all the time, and I'll stomp on my shoes, make sure there's nothing in them, and definitely spiders, man. Those little bastards are scary.
Best advice you were ever given through life, and best advice you were ever given through fighting, and who gave it to you?
Probably, good question. Just live life to the fullest, and never give up, and always put your heart and soul into everything you do, and probably those, and probably my grandpa, my coach, has told me that, and that's one thing that I always do. Whenever I do anything, I put my heart and soul into it and give it everything I can. That's for sure.
What's the best thing that ever happened to you?
I'm going to say getting married to my wife. She's awesome. She takes care of me in every single way. Like, I really couldn't imagine my life without her. She's awesome, man, I just really couldn't do anything without her, I feel, She's like my manager, my secretary. She's, whenever I'm super stressed out or just super pissed off, she definitely calms me down, and we're like the total opposite, She's awesome for sure.
What's the worst thing that ever happened to you?
The worst thing, huh? Just being young and dumb. I used to party and do stupid things, and definitely, I grew up really fast, getting kicked out of my house when I was young, and I did a lot of stupid things, and, that was definitely a learning lesson, but at the same time, it's something that I'm not really proud of, is just being young and dumb.
What's your pet peeve?
My pet peeve is, good question there. Being cleansy, like being clean, I like to be clean. I take showers, before I do anything, and I used to have my own house when I was like 14 years old, 15 years old, and it was like a party house, because I had my house and everybody came to my house, and and my house was spotless all the damn time, so I'm going to say that, or my pull-ups and push-ups. Like, I do a lot of pull-ups and push-ups every single day, and if I don't do them, I just feel like the biggest loser ever. So, probably those two things for sure.
If you could go on a $1 million shopping spree at any store, what store would you go on that $1 million shopping spree at?
Oh, man. Good question. I'm going to say, besides, a cupcake store or something, probably, Best Buy or something like that. I'll just buy the biggest TVs, all the movies I could. When I was younger, I had, the biggest DVD collection out of anybody I've ever known. But probably going to say those two things. But, man, the cupcake or, bakery is like right there for sure.
Person you look up to the most?
Definitely my grandpa. My grandpa, he's a man, you know, he's like the rock of my whole family and supports everybody. And, you know, my grandpa, he's literally the hardest working dude I've ever met in my life. I've never met anybody like him. And he's not only that, just he can, I swear that guy can fix and do anything. You know, the knowledge that the guy has is incredible. So definitely my grandpa.
What do you worry about? What's something that keeps you up at night?
Probably just the fear of failure and loss. Definitely those things, you know. I hate to lose, and I hate to. I don't want to be a failure, you know, in life. I don't know. It probably comes back to my childhood, but I just want to prove my stepdad wrong and all the people wrong. And probably the fear of losing and being a failure for sure. Time
period you'd like to go back and visit, and why?
Probably when I was young, really young, just like me. When it was, my mom was a single parent, you know, and she raised me and my older brother. And man, those are some of the coolest, happiest times of my life. Just my mom was so young; she was like a kid, and just randomly, she was so fun and showed us so much love. And I'll never forget those times and forget her. But, you know, that was definitely an awesome time in my life for sure.
What's your hidden talent?
Man, I feel like I can do anything if I really want to and really try. I can juggle. I used to juggle fire when I was younger, and yeah, you know, I can juggle. But like I say, man, I feel like I can do anything. I really put my heart and soul into it.
Number one thing on your bucket list?
I'm going to say just travel the world. I really would love to, like, man, someday if I make it and I get a bunch of money, like, I'm just going to drop everything, and me and my wife are just going to travel the world, go to every dang country and continent there is.
If you could change one thing about the world, what would you change and why?
I'm going to have to say all this craziness, all this hate and people blowing people up and all this just craziness. You know, man, I don't remember it being this nuts like when I was younger, man. All these random shootings and stuff like that, you know. I just wish it'd be a little more peaceful. And, you know, I just hear all the time there's like, oh, this shooting here, this stabbing here, something like that, you know. So I think that's the world's getting a little bit too crazy in that situation for sure.
Let's say you were on death row and about to be executed. What would your last meal be? And I need an entree, a dessert, and a beverage. What would your last meal be?
We'll go with some, let's see here, definitely Italian food. I'm going to some garlic bread, some lasagna, spaghetti, something like that. And then for my dessert, man, that'd just be crazy if I had to just pick one dessert. But I'd really try to get some kind of cake and ice cream in there for sure. But yeah, definitely. I'm definitely a whiskey drinker. I'll have some really nice whiskey, some Jameson's or some Johnny Walker or something.
Brent, last question. Why will you defeat Michael Chandler on June 24th?
Because he's never fought anybody like me, and, you know, I work so damn hard, and, you know, I want this more than anything, and I'm sure everybody says that they want it more than anything, but, man, I literally am training from right when I wake up to 1 o'clock in the morning, and, you know, just my work ethic, you know, I'm going to go out there and literally put my life on the line. I'm, like I say, man, I'm going to say goodbye to my family and tell them all that I love them and talk to my pastor, and I'm ready to die in that cage for sure.
Brent, real quick before I let you go, do you have any sponsors you'd like to thank, and is there anything you want to say to the fans?
Yeah, I'd like to definitely thank my sponsors. Bad Boy, you know, they're awesome. They helped me out so much and hooked me up with the best gear. So I'm going to say Bad Boy, Roots Organics in Eugene, Oregon. They're awesome. Big Kahuna Bowl, they're the best acai bowls in Eugene. Don's Plumbing, and they've been family friends forever. They've helped me out. And, you know, I definitely got to thank Performance Martial Arts in Springfield, Oregon, and Gracie Baja, Portland, Fabian Sherman, all those guys. And I really got to thank, you know, Colin Oyama, Team Oyama. Those guys are freaking awesome. And, you know, I'm just learning so much up here, soaking all like a sponge. And tell my fans, man, just watch me on June 24th, man. I'm going to go out there and fight to the death, and I'm going to win that belt, and I'm going to shock everybody.
Brent, thank you for taking the time to talk. I really appreciate it. Good luck June 24th at Bellator 180 against Michael Chandler.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.